You gotta love the implosion, folks. You gotta love it. Hey, y'all, gravity, ain't day above ground living. I hope you're having a fantastic start to your Tuesday. I told y'all. Mm, mm, mm.
Okay. I said,
Here we go. Let's do it like this. A year ago, Tucker Carlson, during the election cycle, went over to Russia, had a sit down with Vladimir Putin. Now, at the time that we watched it, it was in the nine figures in accordance with the views. We watched the whole thing. We did a live reaction to it. Beautiful live. And I said in there that MAGA was going to turn on him because we all watched the infamous moment where Putin discussed and revealed to a lot of them that Tucker Carlson tried to get into the CIA. And he didn't make it past the testing phase. And I said, watch, I give it about a year or two, MAGA's going to turn on him. And now one of their biggest voices, pro-Trump voices, whatever you want to call it, is calling him out. And that's Howard Stern in the face, a.k.a. Laura Loomer. She wrote this yesterday. Donald Trump is officially done with Tucker Carlson. Don't take money from Arabs and become blinded by irrational hatred for Jews and Israel like Tucker did. Tucker's whole reputation just imploded because he decided to sell out to shady Arabs who bought his mouth. Now, they say Qatar bought Tucker Carlson. I don't know if that's true or not. So we're not going to put that on that man. But it's just funny now that when the Arabs buy you, it's okay. But when the Israelis buy you, it's not okay. And vice versa. But these are the people who tell you that they're independent journalists. They do this because they want to get to the truth. So Trump wrote, somebody please explain to kooky Tucker Carlson that Iran cannot have a nuclear weapon. Okay, sure. Let's see what them comments hitting on. So somebody asked if Tucker was being paid by Arabs. They said no, based on information. But again, that could be true, could not be true. We're not going to put that on that man. Don't be like Tucker, kids. Leave the cartel money alone. Tucker opposing war makes him hate Jews now. You sound like a typical woke leftist, Lord. Now look, the Siamese coons are trying to defend the white man. Let me tell you Siamese coons something, since you don't listen to nobody that's black. I'll just say it anyway. That way your white audience around you will say, you know what? We don't like black people, but at least he said it. Stay away from this. This is white on white crime. You have no business being Pocahontas covering John Smith. They don't need somebody right now yassa bossing. Tucker can fight his own fights. Tucker is damn near a billionaire. He'll be okay. Yes, Qatar was the one that gave him the shiny new plane. Sponsored by Boeing. But anyway, Tucker Carlson doesn't really care about MAGA. He's just writing the MAGA movement because it fits in well with Qatar's interest in the Middle East. And all Tucker Carlson cares about is Qatar's interest because they're the ones pouring millions of dollars into him. It's funny that they're pouring millions of dollars into him, but he's only broadcasting on X and I think Rumble. If they were pouring millions of dollars, you don't think he would have went and got a license and just started his own TV network? I mean, that would have been smarter. You get real advertising dollars. You can get airtime. You can get those cable fees. But he's doing it on X. Okay, I'm just saying. I see Hodge twins went the Candace route, now hate the Jews. I'm interested. Who the F doesn't in 2025? If not going to war for the one country that's never been on the battlefield with us is Jewish hatred, then I'm guilty. Yeah, so Israel and the U.S. should wait for Iran to complete the uranium enrichment before taking action. Or, and their slogan is death to America, death to Israel. Okay. Listen, y'all found nothing, and I'm talking specifically to you Bush supporters. Y'all found no credible evidence that Iraq had WMDs. You were told this, and you supported bombing them. Even Dick Cheney came out years later and said there was no credible evidence. They have a whole documentary on it. I believe PBS did it, their frontline program. Literally did a whole documentary on the lie about the Iraq war. But you're going to say, let's go bomb Iran because they have a nuclear weapon. We've bombed people for less. But okay. Trump is losing more support than Tucker is over this. Let's see. Trump has someone in his ear telling him to distance from Tucker. I know. Just a friendly reminder that X is not real life. Keep a pin in that because they're saying that Trump didn't say nothing to Tucker. Keep a pin in that. I'm not even talking about this tweet. There's something else he said. F. Tucker Carlson, I just canceled my membership to TC Network. Eliminating the world's largest sponsor of terrorism who chants death to America is a good thing. There's no negotiating with terrorists. I went from loving Tucker to despising him. No, you idolized him. And now the idol has turned on its idolaters. Didn't they tell y'all that in y'all good book? Thou shalt not worship false idols. But, you know. Was it Tucker on a record saying he hated Trump? He just painted to MAGA for a while to get an audience. Let's see. So, did you, Bill, everyone at one time said shit about Trump? All fingers point back. He's also on the record saying he loves Trump. We can disagree on issues. Trump is America first. Trump is Israel first. And you were always neocon that opposed Trump. You literally came back after you backed the wrong horse. The only thing that changed was Trump and his lies to his base. But y'all voted for him. But you knew he was lying, but you voted for him. Yes, idolater, you reap what you sow. We don't use mega as an insult. I don't know what mega is. Are you talking about Mega Man? Are you talking about Mega Mind? I don't know. You're writing mega in here. Oh, Lord. Come on, people. This is why you're supposed to say good morning. It centers you. You can think better. Come on now. Thank you so much. Oh, you know he black. Maybe. He said B.A., not Black American. C Unit. I'm a lot better thinker than you, sir. I've been covering this for this whole Middle East thing. I've been knowing about it since grade school. This here, I've been saying this for past 2 years. Trump don't know how to deal with the Middle East. He never did. That's why he's trying to throw money at the problem. And what happens when you throw money at a problem? Does it fix the problem? No. You just created a prostitute. But that's what y'all want. Your president is a John. Which is hilarious because his middle name is John. I'll tell you what I'm totally sick of. Israel and the Arab countries not being able to respect each other's right to exist. I'm so sick of it that I think the U.S. should just de-weaponize the whole Middle East and let them kill each other in the desert with rocks and sticks. To me, they're all throwbacks. First off, he already gave them, again, hundreds of billions of dollars. He's invested. He sent the MIC over there. He's invested. He gave the Saudis access to our security systems. He's invested. They have access to our data. He's invested. We're never going to get out of the Middle East. But that was Laura Loomer. And we have to respect Tucker Carlson because he hasn't responded to her. He's big boying her right now. We got to respect it, even though he's a racist. We got to respect it. But how did we get here? Israel and Iran hate each other. We know this. They bombed on each other. We know this. They hit a TV station while some woman was doing a report yesterday. We know this. But what is funny is you got a whole bunch of folk out here who don't understand geopolitics as it pertains to the Middle East. This goes on every 5 years, and every 5 years they say the same things over and over again. This side needs to get bombed, that side needs to get bombed. Where are y'all to go to the UN and say, listen, we not funding no more of this until y'all go over there and say, y'all need to cut this out? Not one American has ever done that in a prominent position in an administration to go in front of the UN and say that. Never said that. They always pick a side. But they never want to talk about that. Here's another MAGA shill, Robbie Starbuck. My opposition to American boots on the ground is Iran is not a defense of Iran. Iran's leaders are maniacs. I'm cool. Okay, because Israel doesn't have maniacal leaders. Okay, all right. I just want to understand. I'm cool with Israel taking out their nuclear facilities, but I spent too much time with parents of troops who died in Afghanistan and Iraq. I can't look any parent in the eye and tell them that Iran is worth the life of their son or daughter. Oh, so the two fake wars, that was okay. Right. These were okay. The Iran is where you draw the line. If I see indisputable intelligence that they had the capacity to make a nuke and use it on us or our bases, then my calculus would change. But based on what's public now, I'm cool with letting Israel wipe out their leadership and nuclear development facilities, but I can't support sending our troops. Okay, if Israel had the capabilities, they would have done it already. By proxy, we're the ones doing it, but you know. This is what y'all voted for, though. You voted for this. You wanted to make sure he beat Obama in every conceivable way. And that includes having a war on his ledger. This is his war. Don't give me nothing about Biden. He started this. I don't want to hear it. Because then we're going to have to go back and I'm going to have to talk about 2018. Who was president then? Thank you so much. Anyway. Trump has not changed his stance on Iran having a nuke. Supporters have echoed this stance. Israel goes to war with Iran. Trump doesn't join war. People freak out and believe every rumor about U.S. being in war. You see the problem. That's not what we said. But of course, you run with these stupid ass things. And you work for Steven Crowder. But, you know, I understand. We said Trump is going to reverse course on all his policies. And he's going to go put us into war. That's what we said. We didn't say they were in war now. Because he even told you last week, I don't want no pause. Then he said, I might be thinking about it. He flip-flops. He's John Kerry. Y'all elected John Kerry. But that's okay. Here's Brigitte Gabriel, who, again, has been caught numerous times telling lies and not giving the full truth. But let's hear what she said. Iran only wants to negotiate because their regime is weak and they know Israel has capabilities to completely cripple their entire military. Yet they forget that Iran is backed by BRICS. So that's not going to happen. But, you know, all right. Israel should finish the job and ignore calls for a ceasefire. This is about protecting the Jewish state for future generations. Okay. Let's have fun with this. And I'm going to offend a lot of people this morning, but I don't care. Israel is not a Jewish state. I don't know who keeps telling people this, because how are you a Jewish state and you have over 40 nations represented in that one area? How is that a Jewish state? That's like saying America is a white nation. It's not. Since we have to go to the sub-levels, I need people to understand this. Israel is just like the U.S. It is a melting pot. You don't believe me? You could go look up the demographics one day and see how many countries are represented in Israel. And they're not all Jewish, by the way. But, okay. Sure. We'll let you have that. Because that's the surface level thinking that gets y'all to write these stupid tweets. For engagement, because you can't get on a network. Let's see what they said. You're disgusting, calling for the skull and bones of innocent citizens on all sides. You must have Israel handlers too, huh? You should be kicked off of this site for this post, you're scum. Well, remember, y'all said this was free speech, so everybody should have a right to say what they say, right? That's what y'all said. All right. The truth, not what TC Network spins about Iran. Okay. Any word from what's been decided in a situation when this might be ended tonight without causing a war? They wouldn't have a military to fight a war. Okay, Trump just told them to go to the table, and Iran said we good. So that's not going to work. Iran's been threatening to wipe Israel off the map for over 30 years, and now that Israel's actually standing up to that hostile regime, they want to negotiate. Okay, they're standing up, and David, how are they standing up, sir? First off, you're in the UK. You shouldn't even be talking. But again, I ask, because next month is going to be y'all's 20th anniversary of July 7th. What exactly has Israel done to stand up to Iran that did not involve America? Because unlike y'all, because I'm sure you gonna claim you saw it, but you didn't see it, we saw missiles pass that Iron Dome on Saturday. We saw that. Hit Haifa and hit Tel Aviv. And this president over here wants to build the same thing over here. Yeah. Okay. But y'all worried about missiles over here when an Al-Qaeda cell can basically just go over the water and screw with us in any city and you wouldn't even know it. But all right, you got it. You got it. You old Little John, the East Side boys, niggas. Y'all always be looking to the window when you should be looking at the wall. But, you know, y'all would rather kiss the wall. Y'all know what I'm talking about. But we're not going to go there this morning. Absolutely. Israeli politicians must show the same strength as the IDF. Oh, so they're supposed to be, that's real, we'll say it, bloodthirsty butchers. That's what you're supposed to do. And I ain't caping for the Middle East. I'm just trying to tell you a story. Both sides got their butchers. Why are y'all caping for this? Wait a minute. Hold up. Let me go back up. I was told this president, when he gets in on November 5th, going to be America first. How is this America first? Why are you worried about what two countries in Asia are doing to each other? Why do you care? Unless you're about to admit to me that it's really about that oil, why do you care? I was told drill, baby, drill. That's what I was told. Essie, how does this impact us? I need you to explain that to me. Go ahead. How does this impact us? If Iran had all these capabilities, why didn't they hit us one time? Please explain this to me. Oh, now it's globalism. Okay, great. We're going to talk about globalism. Again, I ask, if Iran is such a threat to us, why haven't they done anything yet? Because we heard about these nuclear weapons a decade ago. We heard about it 20 years ago. We heard about it 30 years ago. Tehran and Baghdad was sitting there doing whatever tribal cultural dances they were doing on Israel's flag. Why didn't y'all do something about it then? Y'all realize, let me help y'all. Do y'all realize America assassinated the democracy of Iran and basically installed hardliners just so they could have an enemy? Maybe y'all should look up that history of Iran. They were one of the most democratic countries in the world until America and the West got involved. And that's both sides. I ain't just saying it's just Republicans. That's both sides. Y'all just fall for anything this man says and his proxies. This is why I keep telling y'all, do not let proxy voices talk for the government. Those are the dangerous ones. People like Laura Loomer, Tucker Carlson, Peter Thiel, them kind of folk you can't have talk. You can't. Likewise with the Democrats, when you had Harry Sisson and David Hogg and that little scumbag Noah DeBrasso. You got influencers talking for a government. Please tell me the other nation on earth that allows this. Please. You got people on this app right here taking political and geopolitical advice from Jack Posobiec. Charlie Kirk. Oh, Lord. Please tell me the other country that does this. Please. All right. Where is that video of Trump saying there was a, oh, wait. No, I think I put it here. Are you still a fan of Tucker Carlson? That was fun. No, there was a video I need to show y'all. What did I do with it? Did I bookmark it? I think I bookmarked it. Yes, y'all got to hear this. Now, this is B6. B6 went on with Matt Gaetz to talk about this situation. Now, you have a American congressional representative talking about what's going on. I'm sure she's going to give us valuable insight. And there's no sound. Hold on one second. I got to put the sound on. I forgot I changed it yesterday when I went on Tori's live. Give me 1 second. Let me change it. Okay, we're good now. Let's see. She's going to provide us valuable insight.
I am certain President Trump does not want to entangle the United States in this conflict needlessly. Many of President Trump's pro-Israel friends and advisors are trying to pressure and convince him that the United States should join airstrikes against Iran. On this program, we strongly disagree with that assessment. President Trump should reject it. So far, President Trump has wisely resisted the pressure. President Trump knows that the Bush-era doctrine of regime change war.
We're going back to Bush now. I'm glad they said it. I said it already, but I'm glad they said it. Bush. So now MAGA's going to attack Bush. They must have found out that Bush don't like Trump. So now they're going to go attack Bush. So you're going to have the old school Bush Warhawks versus MAGA. I kind of didn't have that on the bingo card, but I kind of want to see it. I kind of want to see Dick Cheney, big boy Trump. I kind of want to see it again. I kind of want to see the Carlyle group come outside on Trump. I kind of want to see it. Even though he gave money to Halliburton might put a missile on it that strikes a significant target and have Trump's face on the missile. I kind of want to see it. But go ahead, Matt Gaetz. Go ahead.
First, the Middle East is foolish. It's costly, and it is counterproductive as an anti-terrorism strategy. The misadventurism of the Bush years probably created a great deal more terrorists than they vanquished. I'm old enough to remember
But y'all were the same ones who blamed Obama for giving, what's the name, all that money and secretly funding Al Qaeda. Now we're going to go Republicans fighting the Republicans. This is going to be great. I can't wait for 2026. I can't wait. Because I was right again.
The last time Israel coaxed the United States into a regime change war in the Middle East. Listen to now Prime Minister Bibi Netanyahu tell us in 2002 that invading Iraq would be a good choice.
It's not a question of whether Iraq's regime should be taken out, but when should it be taken out. I think the choice of Iraq is a good choice. It's the right choice.
Of course, it was a good choice. Because Saddam Hussein was giving you the business on the phone every day. And you didn't like it. Y'all got to remember, this is the same dude who Bush 2 said tried to take out his daddy. You knew he was crazy. And you tried to be the proxy voice for the American government, which I just illustrated 5 minutes ago how bad an idea that was. And Saddam Hussein laughed at you and said, if you keep calling me on this BS, I'm going to send Iranian Republican Guard after you. And you're not going to be able to stop them. So keep calling me. And now he ran to Big Daddy America and said, listen, yeah, go invade Iraq. Because I don't have the capability to do it.
No, actually, it was a terrible decision to invade Iraq. A terrible decision.
It was a terrible decision. A Republican saying it was a terrible decision. Yeah, y'all signed off on it. I'm not saying Matt Gaetz did it because he wasn't in Congress then, but I'm just saying I'm sure Matt Gaetz supported it. They bombed our buildings. You supported it. I understand that. Don't do revisionist history now because we didn't have social media really back then. And they can't pull up your AIM messages. And I don't think Stormfront keeps records that far back. I don't need to think I'm smart. I know I'm smart. Now be quiet. Let's say good morning to the room.
We should have never been in Iraq. We have destabilized the Middle East. They lied. There were weapons of mass destruction. There were none.
I actually think I'm going to make that speech from Trump in the debate like my ringtone when he calls me.
Idolatry again. He said he's going to make what Trump just said his ringtone on his phone. Idolatry.
Trump deconstructed the argument that regime change adventurism made the world.
Javid, we need that fight. I need the isolationists and the Warhawks. I need that fight.
If you take out Saddam, Saddam's regime,
Uh-huh.
I guarantee you
Uh-huh.
that it will have enormous positive reverberations on the region.
Now, he was right on that. You took out Saddam and you traded in Saddam's death for bricks. He was right on that. I'll give him that. He finally said something smart.
Oh, a guarantee? What is the nature of the guarantee that Netanyahu offered here? Is it a money-back guarantee? Is Israel going to refund the $3 trillion that America spent in Iraq? The reality is that these guarantees are BS. They're backed by anything other than more phony claims.
Don't worry. Matt Gaetz will be kissing the wall very soon. Don't worry. Remember, he might be running for Florida governor. They might tell him to go kiss the wall, and then he's going to be having an astronomical rise. He'll be the presumptive Republican primary candidate for Florida.
There is no question whatsoever that Saddam is seeking and is working and is advancing towards the development of nuclear weapons. No question whatsoever. And there's no question that once he acquires it, history shifts immediately.
Watching these clips that are more than 20 years old, does it make you feel like the Israel foreign policy seduction of the United States is some sort of regime change Mad Lib, where they just say, like,
Aset, you forgot yes men.
Here, probably getting nuclear weapons, join us in some destabilizing effort? Netanyahu wasn't telling the truth about weapons of mass destruction in Iraq. And not only did the United States believe him, we parroted his lies to the world.
Saddam Hussein was
Oh,
harboring
his lies. So you're telling us that America can't think for themselves. Got it. Now they're going to say that the Bush era Republicans were nothing but automatons because the MAGA Republicans are not automatons. I got it. Thanks for that clarification, you fake ass super villain, you. Thank you. Go ahead.
Paris and the instruments of terror, the instruments of mass death and destruction.
Mm-hmm.
And he cannot be trusted. The evidence indicates that Iraq is reconstituting its nuclear weapons program. If they
Yet every time you sent them inspectors over there, they didn't find nothing. Yellow cake.
Iraqi regime is able to produce, buy, or steal an amount of highly enriched uranium a little larger than a single softball, it can have a nuclear weapon in less than a year.
The regime change war in Iraq cost our great nation treasure, credibility, and the blood of our bravest patriots. It resulted in broken limbs, broken families, and broken minds. It also resulted in a broken Iraq, which ironically has now become a vassal state of, wait for it, Iran. That's right. For those keeping track at home, the last time America listened to Netanyahu based on false claims of weapons of mass destruction, we ended up pouring cash and blood all over the sands of Mesopotamia. And in the end, it only made Iran stronger. And now they're trying to get us into war with Iran.
But Matt, if you were in the administration, you wouldn't be calling this out. Fam Tabernacle. This is what happens when you find out you're not as valued as you think you are. Either they're going to turn on you or you're going to turn on them. This always happens. Matt Gaetz is doing this because he didn't get the AG job. Because he can't control his urges.
I am not offering a defense of the Islamic Republic of Iran. As a former member of the Congressional Armed Services Committee, I know that Iran is evil. They attack our troops in Iraq. They undermine the safety of global shipping. They fund mischief around the world. But regime change in Iran.
Did he just say they fund mischief around the world? So what do we do, sir? What do we do? Say it again.
I know that Iran is evil. They attack our troops in Iraq. They undermine the safety of global shipping. They fund mischief around the world.
Sir, this country literally funded mischief in Haiti. Remember, they got caught. Them fools got caught. And what happened? Some of them were revealed to be CIA operatives. We fund everything, sir. We fund regime change all the time. Cut it out. Let's not do no moral high ground. Come on now.
But regime change in Iran or Iraq or Afghanistan or Libya or Syria,
We all did that.
it does not result in the eruption of some Jeffersonian democracy or country that's a new signatory to the Abraham Accords. The reality is that regime change in the Middle East often leads to civil war, sectarian violence, and the slaughter of religious minorities, and way more terrorism. That's exactly what I'm predicting here. But
So what do they do domestically? Because they do the same thing. Now, granted, we haven't gotten to civil war yet, but you have division all over the place.
bookmark this. The most important tactical development of this war is Israel's establishment of air superiority over Iran. Israel owns the skies over Iran. Iran has deployed...
Okay, Matt, how did that work? How'd that work? What happened on Saturday? It seems like Israel always takes their eye off the ball on a Saturday. Did we not see missiles hit Tel Aviv and Haifa? All right.
Russia's best air defense system, the SAM-400. Rather deftly, Mossad sabotaged a lot of those systems on the ground. Some were taken out by Israel's attacks in October, and others have been neutralized in the last few days. With Israel free to roam the skies over Iran without any contest, they can relentlessly prosecute targets on the ground with limited risk to IDF forces flying those missions. Hear me now. This is not going to stop at some bombing campaigns around Iran's nuclear program. That's just the appetizer, not the entree. Israel is pursuing regime change in Iran. That is the true goal of this campaign. They're already saying as much. Just check out this Reuters report where Israel freely acknowledges that regime change is on the table. And things seem to have gone well past denuclearization when you're talking about assassinating a foreign leader.
Did that jump cut or is it me?
Acknowledges that regime change is on the table. And things seem to have gone well past
Thought he was playing a
denuclearization
thing.
when you're talking about assassinating a foreign leader. Axios is reporting that President Trump had to veto Israel's plans to execute the supreme leader of Iran. At this stage of the war, Israel has already killed off Iran's military leadership. They've aspired to kill off Khomeini, and they have established air superiority. At this pace, the war is probably going to end in regime change. We're actually rather successful at initially dislodging a foreign government. It's what comes next that has flummoxed Uncle Sam. Does America really want to be Israel's dance partner to this siren song again? Israel's bombing target package will expand, their sorties will increase, they will systemically kill off enough leadership in Iran to plunge that nation into civil war and chaos. They'll Gazify Iran. Iraq will likely...
Okay, first off, they'll never Gazify. They'll never Gazify Iran. Never. And the fact that Matt Gaetz said that tells you he don't know what's going on out here. Iran is a major player on the world. They're never going to get that far.
They fall back into chaos and death and terrorism and war. President Trump knows this. He's literally the person who taught the Republican Party to kick our regime change war habit. The neocons want another fix, though, and we shouldn't fall for their foolishness again. Joining us now, GOP Congresswoman from Georgia, Marjorie Taylor Greene. Congresswoman...
Jesus Christ. Look at her. Boy. You sure that ain't AI?
Greene, you have been a voice of reason and America First policy. Tell us how you see this conflict between Israel and Iran.
Matt, I see it just as you do, and you laid that out so well. That's the America First message, but it's also the truth that the American people have woken up to. We've watched for decades propaganda news. I'll call out Fox News and the New York Post. They're known to be the neocon network news.
Oh, so this is the week MAGA's mad at Fox News. Okay, I'm glad. Thank you, Marjorie. I didn't know that. Thank you.
Propaganda news on our side, just like the left does. And the American people have been brainwashed into believing that America has to engage in these foreign wars in order for us to survive. And it's absolutely not true. Prime Minister Netanyahu said, I saw on video, he said today that America first is America dead. And that sounds like a threat to me, and I completely disagree with him on that. In order for America to not be dead, it's to stay America first. He said today, not true. Prime Minister Netanyahu said, I saw on video, he said today that America first is America dead. And that sounds like a threat to me, and I completely disagree with him on that. In order for America to not be dead, it's to stay America first. And this is what the American people want. It is not anti-Semitic to say that we do not want to go to war against Iran or any other country, that is not anti-Semitic at all. It's actually rational, it's sane, and it's loving to people all over the world.
Now we're bringing up anti-Semitism. Well, I wonder if Marjorie, when did they do this? Let me look. They did this last night. I wonder if Marjorie got a phone call this morning. I'm just wondering.
A Middle Eastern war will pull America back 20 years, just like you showed in your intro for your show. It's exactly the lies that we were told after 9/11, and many people know it's not true. So I'm completely opposed to this war. Of course, we don't want to see the people in Israel bombed, but they're only being bombed because Israel attacked Iran first. And that's the truth that we need to be talking about. And Matt, I want to add on one more thing that I think is incredibly important, because
Yeah, she definitely getting a phone call this morning. B6, I like that you're talking like this. I just hope you know if you keep talking like this, you may not have your seat next year. And if you do run for governor down here, these words are going to be the reason why Keisha Bottom B may become the governor if she wins her primary. Even though the Democrats down here are turning on her, but you never know. Shit could happen in a year. But I like the fact that you're actually telling the truth for once.
Fox News and all these other news stations are not talking about it. Last week on Thursday, they held a vote in the Knesset, and Netanyahu only won by 2 votes, because the polling is showing that if an election was held today, he would lose. What he's doing is not popular among the people in Israel. They are tired of war. They are so devastated after October 7th. But they are tired of war, and that vote happened last Thursday, and then Friday Israel attacked Iran. That's why the bombs are falling, and it seems very political. And you and I have seen those types of things before.
So are you saying you believe that Netanyahu is manifesting this conflict against Iran because he has domestic political problems?
I can't say that for certain, but it seems to be possibly the case. There's no...
Ma'am, where are you that your internet connection is not stable? You in Congress, you got millions of dollars in your bank account. You can't get a decent hotspot? Come on now. You keep freezing it. That's probably them screwing with it, but you know, we're not gonna go there today.
Oh, you know how it is. After 9/11, the country pulled together behind George Bush, because that's what we were told on the news, and America
And you were
was
cool
so
with it.
devastated after the horrors of 9/11. And here we're seeing possibly something similar over in Israel after the October 7th attack, which was, I mean, it was just terrible. So many innocent people were killed. But they've been going through a war, and their young people are dying that are serving in the military in Israel. They're dying in the war in Gaza, and many innocent people are being murdered in Gaza. And it's sad. People are fatigued and tired of it in Israel. But I want to say it's not being reported enough that on Thursday they held a vote in the Knesset, and it was only by 2 votes that Netanyahu won. If he had lost...
Somebody just said in the chat, Marjorie Taylor Greene is a genius. Yet this was the same Marjorie Taylor Greene who last week said she didn't even realize that the states not being able to regulate AI was in the bill, the big beautiful bill. But she's supposed to be she's a genius. Listen, I understand y'all want to give these people adjectives. Let's rein back the adjectives a little bit. I'm just saying.
They would have had another election in Israel, and the polling shows that he would lose if an election were to occur today.
Why do we care about the elections over there in Israel? That's their problem.
But back to bombing Iran, that's the only reason that innocent people in Israel are having bombs fall on them and they're being killed. But there's also innocent people in Iran that are being killed.
Everything you say makes so much sense to me. You've been the voice of the base on a lot of these issues for some time. How are your Republican colleagues in Congress reacting to this? And should we expect that they'll be, saying the things you're saying, or are they going to want to go and do another big aid package to Israel?
Well, you know exactly what they're saying. They're saying the same things that they've always said. They're America first until they're ready to go off and bomb any other country and send our men and women in uniform to go fight because Israel says they have to. So the message.
Squall, when do we care about Israel's elections? I don't remember y'all caring when Netanyahu was running. I don't remember when y'all were caring when Ariel Sharon was running. I don't remember y'all caring when Jacques Chirac was running. I don't remember none of this. There was no wall-to-wall coverage about Israel's elections.
Is completely opposite of what we're saying today. It's completely opposite of what the campaign said. The campaign, it was America first, and it was America first unapologetically. And that means something to me because that's what people voted for. People voted for President Trump for the first time ever in their lifetime voting in an election in 2024. They switched parties and voted for President Trump.
Oh my God. Ma'am, they switched parties in 2016 to vote for that man. What are you talking about? Damn, I tell you, she dumb. Ma'am, MAGA is full of grifters. Matter of fact, you even said it in a Twitter post. MAGA literally got foundational based off grifting. Boy, I tell you.
On this America First message and ending foreign wars. But Washington, of course, doesn't get the message from the American people. And Matt, let me tell you what's going on. I really wish you were still there with us because you'd be fighting this.
No, he wouldn't. He'd be saying, yes, Mr. President, I got the golden knee pads. I actually sprung from with my salary. So come here. Let me do your zipper today. Pause.
They see President Trump's presidency as a speed bump. They're just playing along and making sure that he's happy so they look good for their constituents back home.
Say it again.
Presidency as a speed be fighting this. They see President Trump's presidency as a speed bump. They're just playing along and see President Trump's presidency as a speed bump. They're just playing along and President Trump's presidency as a speed bump. They're just playing along and Trump's presidency as a speed bump. They're just playing along and making sure that.
There you go. Thank you, B6, for confirming everything we thought. Y'all don't give a damn about this country. Y'all don't want to save the country. You just want to be celebrities. Thank you for admitting it. Your president wants to be a celebrity. JD Vance wants to be a celebrity. Marco Rubio, y'all made into a celebrity. Mike Johnson is a whole celebrity. They're parodying him on SNL right now. B6 is wanting to be a celebrity. She going up in people's music videos and rapping. Matt Gaetz is now a celebrity because he over there doing network news. He trying to parlay that into a Fox News gig. Y'all, boy.
He's happy, so they look good for their constituents back home. but they have a very clear intention of returning the Republican Party back to the party of the neocons and back to the establishment, the party of Romney and Mitch McConnell. And that's what I'm seeing
Well, the
happening,
base won't
and we'll see
tolerate
it
that.
develop more and more.
What do you mean the base won't tolerate? The base will follow whatever because they have an R next to their name. See, this is the intellectual dishonesty I don't like from MAGA. The Republicans, just like the Democrats, are going to follow whatever the people that they like say. And we've seen that. I don't know who needs to hear that. We'll say it again. Whoever is big on your side, they tell you what the game is, you're going to follow it because they have the D or the R next to their name. Pause. Matt, you admitted at the beginning that everybody was for the war in Iraq because the buildings got bombed. That was a Republican move. That was a Democrat move, and everybody in America got with it, right? Okay. You can't sit up here now and say that, Marjorie Taylor Greene, that the Republican base is not going to go for this war in Iran. All you need is one well-crafted speech, and they're going to fall in line. Okay, you need an example? Okay. Where were you Republicans that came outside and said that them Asians didn't need the C-19 Hate Crimes Act? Since y'all were the same ones that say you shouldn't do things for specific races because that divides the nation. Where were y'all at? B6, you signed that. You said, I'm for that. Matt Gaetz, you did the same thing. You didn't oppose it. It's funny how they think, I'm telling you, MAGA, they think you're dumb. We know you're dumb, but they think you're dumb.
You and I both know the base will not tolerate that. I mean, if the United States strikes Iran, what will that do to President Trump's coalition?
It's going to fracture it, and it's already fracturing it. We're seeing it all
I was told last year I was crazy for saying that, though.
over online. We're seeing it from people. I just got back from the grocery store, and someone came up and talked to me about it. And people are waking up to this. They do. You know what they're thinking about, Matt? They were happy that gas prices were finally coming down, and
They were coming down because they were still using the winter blend. They didn't get to the summer blend yet. That's why.
enjoying the fact that gas was affordable again for their summer vacations.
Gas went back up, by the way, Marjorie, but I know you won't tell OAN viewers that. I know you won't.
But yet here they're seeing on TV that now we've got to go fight Iran because Israel said so, and because Israel picked the fight and attacked them first, and we're being threatened that, oh no, if we don't go do this, we're going to be bombed out of existence. Well, the truth is, if we get involved in this war, we are going to see terror attacks right here on our homeland because Biden and the Democrats ripped our border open for the past.
And there we go. See? Can't miss a moment. She was almost there. And within the last 2 minutes, got to bring up Biden. Okay. Like clockwork. What this got to do with Biden? What this got to do with the Democrats? Again, y'all watched, hang on. Y'all watched, as we did, y'all watched the Democrats give them all that money, right? Them, Ukraine, whoever else. You watched them give them all those billions of dollars in weapons and access and military equipment. Yeah, you went outside and you said this was wrong. But did y'all fight and say, no, Biden, we're crafting a resolution that says you got to come to us to give this man money? You didn't do that. You were cool with it. Which one of you Republican representatives or senators in Congress after October 7th said that's their problem? We ain't got no, we cannot, I repeat, we cannot jump into this war. Let them figure it out. Which one of y'all said that? Yeah, I have an intelligent comment for you. You're dumb. Bye-bye. Listen, Nick, you can go somewhere else too. Thank you so much. Because I don't need you MAGA shills in here trying to act like now you want to be mad at Israel for doing what they're doing. When y'all were sanctioning it when it was happening to Gaza. Oh, what's the matter? You didn't like the fact that I was knocking them? I'm not. I'm knocking Democrats too, but y'all don't hear that because you're retarded. But it's okay. Reading comprehension is a beautiful thing. You should learn that. Both sides want this war. They just can't. They don't know how to sell it to the American people yet.
For years. And that's what Americans are talking about. They're sick and tired of it. They want to have happy lives. They don't want to hear about politics. They want to be able to afford food, and they want to be able to afford gas, and they just want to have fun.
All you got to say, Marjorie, is if we bomb Iran, everything's going to go back to 1990s prices. Everybody in the country will go in for that.
For once in their life, they want to have fun without Washington telling them they have something to be afraid of.
President Trump clearly prefers a deal to war almost anywhere. That's not even specific to Israel or Iran. I think he'd rather have a deal with
You told people to be afraid of DEI.
He worked to get a deal between India and Pakistan. Do you think a deal with Iran is possible that is enforceable and that could bring these hostilities to a close?
Oh, so we have to sell them a deal now. Jesus Christ.
You know, I certainly would hope so. I don't think the regime that is leading Iran is, I'll agree with you, they are not good guys. And they do not treat their people well.
But you want to do a deal with them to stop what they're doing. Oh my God. Won't let them deal with their own problems. You gonna go over there and be mediator and sell us out more. Go ahead.
But if they have any intelligence and all, they would make a deal with President Trump. And he would make a deal with them. Because you know what the Trump administration wants? President Trump in particular, maybe not everyone around him, but President Trump in particular, he wants peace all over the world. And he wants everybody to make money. And there's nothing wrong with that.
Yes, he wants them to make money so he can try to tariff them. But here's the problem. The whole world's making money and we're not making money. That's the problem. Jesus Christ.
Well, I still want to be involved.
Oh boy. Anyway, that's B6, family. That's B6. By the way, this is what I was alluding to just now. She said yesterday too, everyone is finding out who are real America First, MAGA, and who were fake and just said it because it was popular. Ooh. Unfortunately, a list of fakes are becoming quite long and expose themselves quickly. Anyone slobbering for the U.S. to become fully involved in the Israel-Iran war is not America First, MAGA. Wishing for murder of innocent people is disgusting. We're sick and tired of foreign wars, all of them. And this one will quickly engulf the Middle East, BRICS, and NATO as countries are required to take a side. Ooh, so she mentioned BRICS. Okay. By the way, Marjorie, they should be taking care of this, not us. But, all right. Real America First, MAGA wants world peace for all people and doesn't want our military killed and forever injured physically and mentally. We love our U.S. military and love them helping to secure our borders and our cities for the defense of our people and our country. They are our friends, spouses, cousins, nieces, nephews, sisters, brothers, sons, and daughters. She didn't mention uncles and aunts. You see that? That's some bullshit right there, but okay. We have spent trillions in the Middle East and we have dealt with the aftermath of death, blown apart bodies, never-ending suicides, and disabling PTSD. All because they told us propaganda as to why we must sacrifice our own to defend some other country's borders and some other country's borders. Okay, but you did. She wrote that twice. I don't know why she did that. But you did that with Israel, and it was okay. I don't want to see Israel bombed or Iran bombed or Gaza bombed, but you still watched it bomb and didn't stop it. But okay. I don't want to see Ukraine bombed or Russia bombed, but you watched it happen and it's still happening and you're not doing anything about it. Okay. And we do not want to be involved or required to pay for any of it. You're already in it. Because remember, as I said before, when the Ukraine popped off, you were in Congress and you didn't do vocal opposition every day on it. We are $36 trillion plus in debt and have mountains of our own problems. We have giant planks sticking out of our own eyes while we complain about splinters in other eyes. Every country involved and all over the world can be happy, successful, and rich if we all work together and seek peace and prosperity. Taking a position is not anti-Semitic. It's rational, sane, and loving toward all people. Taking this position of peace and prosperity for all is not isolationism. It leads to great trade deals and great economies that help all people. First off, again, BRICS is already doing that, but you think they're going to listen to you. Fine, whatever. It's what many Americans voted for in 2024. No, they didn't. They voted for egg prices and grocery prices. That's what they voted for. America first, America first, America first. That's how we make America great again. I wonder what they said. She said more. I ain't finna read all that. There go Isaiah Washington, say 1,000%. Marjorie Taylor Greene, 1944, verb, I could care less about your death camps. My God, why don't you get by America first? The hell with the Holocaust. Wow, that's crazy. Real America first, MAGA wants world peace. I'm sorry, but you don't get to dictate how all of us feel. For there to be world peace, Iran's regime must be replaced. If that means the U.S. must assist, he can't even spell Israel. Sorry. Then so be it, Lord. Okay. Yeah, because... Again, you saw what happened in Haiti. Is Haiti stabilized now? No. You saw what happened in Libya when Obama did it. Is Libya stabilized now? No. It's the world's largest slavery open market. Regime change don't work. But y'all are the same ones that say, hey, people got to be able to elect their own leaders. But y'all want to go in there shooting guns and taking people out and installing your own. What happened in Syria, man? Y'all tried that in Syria. What happened? What happened in Ukraine? Because y'all installed Zelensky. What happened? Maybe regime change doesn't work. Let the people decide. Michael Young, they literally said they voted for egg prices. They literally said it. A lot of people weren't convinced about Trump until he fired his first staff and brought back the old staff from the first administration, and he did that presentation with the gas prices and the egg prices and grocery prices, and people got back on board. He literally said, the second day I'll have grocery prices down. That includes eggs, does it not? Yeah, you're right. People didn't vote for that. Okay. Got it. Because we didn't hear him say it. All right. Just like there were people that just voted for him because he said he was going to end Ukraine and Russia the first day. There were some people that voted for him because he said he was going to make crypto part of the U.S. economy. All right. Most people vote for the economy when they choose their leaders. Where's your economic policy? That's usually top 3, but you're right. Yes. When they took out Iran's democratic leaders and put in their proxies, and it became none but a hardline nation. Yeah. Because that was never going to be a problem. And here we are. America's more than a country, it's an idea. Here we go. Now we sound like Vivek. One based on Judeo-Christian values. Supporting Israel against those who seek to upend Western civilization is America First ideal. It's always them. It's always them. It ain't working. We need something different. But all right. You're an absolute fool if you believe that Iran with a nuke is not a threat to the United States. Trump is MAGA. He decides what is MAGA. There is no MAGA without President Trump. So y'all telling me y'all can't think for yourselves? Got it. They're telling you right there. They can't think for themselves. Again, I ask if Iran was this big a threat, why have they not been taken out yet? Wasn't there one time when Saddam was the biggest terrorist on the planet? He was rivaling bin Laden. Yellow gas Saddam. But all right. Now we got somebody else to tell me they didn't say something about eggs. All right, dude. Okay. Okay. All right. Because eggs weren't rising when Trump was running. They weren't rising. Okay. Okay. We didn't have shortages when Trump was running. Okay. It just happened after he got in. Okay. All right. Biden and them weren't killing chickens when Trump was running, right? Okay. All right. Bird flu and all that. Went through a whole year last year hearing about bird flu and avian flu. All right. Okay. How quickly we forget. It was only like a year ago. All right. Cool. Come on, Marjorie. This is silly. Our First Amendment right covers our support for Israel. Huh? Well, it might mean freedom of expression and speech, but okay, fine. Sorry, but as a believer, my allegiance is first to Jesus and his word, which is clear about standing with Israel. That's not what Jesus' word said, but oh, Lord. Never mind. I don't even want to read this. It's going to piss me off. There's always them bringing in religion into it now. Because religious wars always work out well. Jewish space laser lady. That's crazy to start off like that. Tell that to Khomeini's regime that screams death to Israel, death to America, death to the UK, death to the West, and death to the infidels. Takes two to tango. Islamists don't want peace. Okay. Maybe they don't. Leave them alone. Let them destroy each other. What's the problem? I support Israel. I don't want a second Holocaust, and Trump should ensure the survival of Israel. Why? They still haven't given you a competent reason why. But, What else? What part of Iran can I get a nuclear bomb? Do you not understand? America won't be great waiting for a nuke to land on it. Well, to be fair, Lance, there's other countries that have nukes right now, but y'all not scared of them. I don't understand that. China has millions of nukes, but y'all not mad at them for invoking a maybe nuclear war. Russia got the same thing. North Korea got some. Pakistan has some. But y'all never say anything about that. All right. Okay. All right. You're an anti-Semitic witch who should not be in Congress. America First was created by Trump. America First can change when Trump says, oh, America First can change when Trump says, let me look. You might be a bot. You could be a bot. Yeah, you're a bot. MAGA, see, this is what I mean. Y'all let all these grifters in, and this is why you shouldn't be letting proxy voices talk for you and talk for that man. This is dangerous. What do you mean America First can change? How can you change the core tenets of something? That's not something conducive for people. You're trying to make sure your country survives and prospers. You can't be having a go with the wind approach. That's not how that works. But it's always them. Nene, good morning, beloved. They don't read this Bible. That slave manual that they love talking about Trump has a red version of it. They don't read it. But okay. Not sure if you have ever read the Bible, but it plainly says those who bless Israel will be blessed and those who curse Israel will be cursed. Oh, Lord. Okay, let me explain this to you. This Israel that y'all are talking about is not the same Israel. Jesus. It's simple. It's not the same Israel. This Israel we're talking about right now was built in 1948. This is not BC Israel. That is not the land of Jesus. How are y'all talking about this is the land of Jesus? And in the land of Jesus in 2025, you have people there that deem him not the Messiah. Never mind. We're going to get into a religious discussion. I'm going to start pissing people off. Let me not go there. It's not popular to be MAGA. If you love our military, don't force them to take arms up against civilians. Take up arms against civilians. Stop the VA cuts and rehire every veteran active duty you fired. It's simple. Pete Hex had fired trans but demanded a makeup studio for himself. He sounds queer. Your actions speak much louder than your words. Your actions prove you despise our military and our vets with no vote you cast against them, which has been 100% all the time. You're evil. 78 million Americans voted for no new wars. No, they didn't. No, they didn't. Because that was never one of their main things. Thanks for speaking out, MTG. You're a real one. This dude is such a shill, it's not even funny. What happened? Who'd y'all block now? I ain't even look. Put him back. Put him back. Because I love how they're telling me that created Israel from the UN is Jesus's land. I love how they tell me this. All right, I want him to explain how British created and UN created and US created Israel is the land of Jesus. And a bunch of people that live there do not recognize Jesus as the Messiah. I want him to explain this to me. Gob, I think you need to go read that slave manual and come back to me and tell me that you really would stand with Christians. Because the second word you wrote in there was moralistic. I think you need to read that book. And then go look at the actions of man and tell me that they're following that book. But y'all are caping for a religion that has the most bodies on it in history. But, okay. All right. Again, I'm going to say this again. You Christians that want to come in here and try to educate me on that. I will respect y'all when y'all defeated a Muslim in a battle on the tenets of Christianity. Then I'll believe you. I will listen to you. When that happens, then I'll listen. When it don't happen, I'm going to keep saying what I'm saying. Because y'all love to pick and choose stuff out of that book. But it's okay. Y'all will learn. Sir, there's people from Jerusalem that are not Jews. You could literally go look up the demographics. Not everybody in Jerusalem is Jews that have been born there. There's actual Christians in Jerusalem. There's actual Arabs in Jerusalem that were born in Jerusalem. No, you would not be an Israel. You would be an Israeli, not an Israelite. Jesus Christ. Israeli, not Israelite. That's two different things. But all right. But, you're not the MAGA definer. MAGA is diverse. Not everyone is going to feel the same on every point. If MAGA cannot tolerate someone having a different opinion, then MAGA is no different from the left. Well, they can't because they're infighting right now. Truth seeker forever. They're turning on Tucker Carlson. You have MAGA people that don't like Marjorie Taylor Greene. They don't like Laura Loomer. The hell? This is what I mean. Y'all let anybody walk in there. You vetted nobody from 2016 to now. You vetted no one. Just because they said they like Trump and what he does and what he says, mean tweets and all that, y'all say, cool, come on in. And now y'all realizing your party is starting to run out of food and drink and you can't get rid of them. A gathering became a rave. That's crazy. Correct, Jay. We all have to seek his wisdom. What I'm saying is, y'all, you have people on here who claim they're Christian trying to talk for the Most High. That's crazy. And then they look at his words from his prophets and his emissaries and get it wrong. Jay, we don't know how you would act as a leader. Are you in that position? We don't know. Correct. You have people that do the same thing as Muslims. Correct. That's why the relationship that the Most High said is supposed to be between you and him. Because there's going to be no confusion. You get too many of these fake ass Christians going online and going on TV trying to spout the words of the Most High, and then people looking at them like, okay, you're just a zealot. They're not even following the commandments. These same Christians be going to those stupid fests and CPAC and committing adultery, which is a deadly sin. But they don't care. They defile their bodies, which is a deadly sin, and they don't care. Then they'll tell you, oh, everyone falls short of their glory. Good, you should fall short. You're correct. Right into the circle of hell. Be down there with Satan. But, yeah. Carrie, did you expect Israel to... No, Israel sent troops during the Iraq War. Yes, they did. They sent them over there. That was their excuse to expand. But now, oh no, they're not going to send them. Think about it like this. Every time something pop off over there in Israel, where's the first place they go defend? They don't go defend the neighborhoods. They go defend synagogues, Jewish centers. Because they always tell you there's heightened security. There's heightened levels of activity. We need to go protect them first. Huh? But Buffalo happened, and they didn't go into black neighborhoods and say we got to put them on heightened alert. The community centers, the parks in these neighborhoods, the streets where people live on. PG County should have been the most protected place in 2022. Baldwin Hills. Atlanta. It wasn't. They said that. It was another day. But, we could have that discussion one day, but we know where it's going to end up. Just people trying to circle the drain and don't realize that the pipes are dirty underneath the plug. I got to go to work. This is a great conversation. And I just want y'all to understand, we're in the eye of the storm now. MAGA is going to dissolve on November 3rd. And we want to make sure it's documented so everybody can see the progression and the destruction. So they can't say that this was a surprise. So hopefully you learned something. If you did, I've done my job. If not, I try to be better next time. I may see you Thursday. We have something to talk about. It's important. It's called The Greatest Candy Ever. But anyway, y'all. I will see you when I see you. Y'all take care, stay safe, and you know what to do when the agents of chaos come to mess up your existence.